watch every night at 6:40. And what you see is on the green grass and grainy dirt tonight. You will step into another world, into a major league locker room, training room, and warm-up facility. You will go where so few are invited, behind the scenes, in the truck, in the booth, in the dugout, and beyond. So enjoy the game and all that goes into bringing it into your home from our home. The D-backs and A's right now. Diamondbacks and A's, and we bring you behind the scenes from another day in paradise, brought to you by our good friends tonight with Gila River Casinos. You have your press pass. For tonight's ball game, it is the Oakland Athletics, a team that again defies all logic, defies all payroll mathematics, and they are having another fabulous season, going head-to-head against the Arizona Diamondbacks. All right, welcome into the booth. Hello there once again, everybody. He is Mark Grace. I am Daron Sutton, and we welcome you back to the ballpark. Glad to have you with us. Now, Gracie, when you look at these Oakland Athletics, let's not just look this year. Let's talk about a decade for the Oakland A's, because it's been a decade that everyone has said, well, they're trimming payroll, they're going to cut back. It happened again this year, and again, they're winning.
Well, it happens every year with the Oakland Athletics. It's a small market club, yes, but they are big on wins. These teams just continue to go out and draft well, get their players to the big leagues, and win baseball games. It's been an incredible run for these Oakland A's.
You can see the trips to the postseason, the job that they have done, and certainly a wonderful run it has been for the Oakland A's. Now, when you talk about this pitching matchup, this is a lot of fun, because in Justin Duchscherer, you have a man that a lot of folks I'm sure haven't heard of. He moved out of the bullpen into the rotation. He has been fabulous going head-to-head with Brandon Webb. What we know about both of them, they don't allow any base runners.
Yeah, you're looking for a low-scoring game tonight here at Chase Field. Brandon Webb, we know about him. You might not know much about Justin Duchscherer. This guy's got an ERA, well, quite a bit better than Brandon Webb, so that should show you right there that this should be a low-scoring game, and I love a good pitcher's duel, Daron.
All right, so we're glad to have you with us tonight behind the scenes as we bring you Diamondbacks baseball. I know you're looking, by the way. You can't sneak in without being invited. We're glad to have you with us tonight. Mark McClune will explain everything as we bring you behind the scenes tonight. The Oakland A's, the Arizona Diamondbacks, and all the action is right after this. FSN Arizona presents D-backs baseball, brought to you by Brown & Brown Chevrolet. We're still the one. By Gila River Casinos. Is this your lucky day? And by Southwest Airlines. With Southwest Airlines, you're now free to be more productive. Visit southwest.com today.
This is behind the scenes night on FSN Arizona in high definition. Another thing in high definition is DBTV, the new scoreboard here at the ballpark. Tonight we're going behind the scenes. I'm standing by in the control room. This is where they're controlling what fans are seeing right now inside the ballpark. One of many stops tonight on the behind the scenes tour. We will be up in DBTV. We will also be inside the announcer's booth. That's where we're going to start. We'll also go down into the TV production truck, interviews with key D-back staff, all access tour of Chase Field, and it's coming your way next on FSN Arizona. We'll be all around the ballpark tonight. Kind of let you see a couple of things you normally wouldn't see unless you worked here. A lot of hard-working people behind the scenes. Daron Sutton and Mark Grace, hard-working as well. They'll have the call. It's next. It's the A's and the D-backs on FSN Arizona.
Glad to have you watching us tonight in high definition, wherever you may be, as we bring you Diamondbacks baseball right here on FSN Arizona. Brandon Webb is getting ready to go. Oh, isn't it an honor to have Bill Keene, the fine artist, cartoonist, family circus, visiting us here in the booth. This is one of the many treats. When I work with a guy like Mark Grace and Joe Garagiola, we get all kinds of wonderful friends and visitors visiting us here in the booth. Glad to have you back at the ballpark, and good to have Joe here as well. Let's take a look at the Oakland Athletics lineup tonight. Now we look inside the locker room. Mark Ellis, Ryan Sweeney, Jack Cust, Eric Chavez, Crosby, Gonzalez from the Diamondbacks, Kurt Suzuki, Derek Barton, and Justin Duchscherer. That's how those guys in that locker room saw that they were in the starting lineup. And then, of course, our starting pitching report is brought to you by another energy-efficient natural gas builder, Lennar Homes. Gracie, you don't need to go behind the scenes to know that this guy's really good.
Well, you have to We're going to break it out again, Daron Sutton. The tourniquet.
It's time.
He's going to take the mound again today to stop the bleeding. Unfortunately, we're having to call him that too often.
So Webby takes the mound for another opportunity against these Oakland A's. He pitched against them in July of 2006. He beat them 3-1. He beat Barry Zito 3-1. Here at home, we are underway. Glad to have you with us. And there is strike one to Mark Ellis. Ellis out of the University of Florida at the top of that lineup, has been hitting his last 7 games. Matter of fact, about 2 hits per game in his last 7, as that one misses outside. 58 pitches in that outing at Shea Stadium against New York for Brandon Webb. And right away, he sees a higher velocity reading. That was one of the things he was concerned about. 93 miles an hour there. He was saying I was about 85 to 87, and I felt myself starting to hit the wall. Well, he didn't ask out of the game. His manager said, "You're out of the game," as that one is rolled and hops into the seats. We theorized, Gracie, that maybe the line drive to his lower back knocked him out, but that really wasn't it. His manager just said, "I've seen enough. Catch your breath."
I've had enough. I'm going to give you a break. Look at the big picture. Get you ready 5 days from now.
And hit on the ground. We'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mark Ellis. It's Ellis, Ryan Sweeney, Jack Cust. I didn't give it really its proper due. Carlos Gonzalez is in that 6th slot. As we bid that baseball goodbye, heading into left field. It's stumbled a bit out there, and because of that, Ellis moves up. Connor Jackson out there in left field. Don't know if obviously the brief miscue cost him a base. Let's take a look at that defense. It's brought to you by Rico. Jackson, Young, Upton, Reynolds, Drew, Hudson, Tracy, and then the battery of Webb and Snyder. Certainly, though, if Ellis was going the entire time, if Connor played that cleanly, he's got it.
Oh, I think he's definitely got him had he come up with it cleanly. You're right, Daron.
0-1 the count to Ryan Sweeney. Sweeney part of that deal this winter that sent Nick Swisher to Chicago. And he gets an opportunity now to play a lot more. He's hitting .294, doing a fabulous job. Breaking ball, hot shot, base hit, right field, picked on a curveball. They'll stop the runner at third. Runners on first and third. And right away, just like we watched this weekend, American League clubs come to town swinging the bat.
Well, Chad Tracy broke for the bag and not for the ball, and this ball cleanly gets by. That breaking ball stays up. Sweeney drills it. Watch Chad Tracy. On contact, he's breaking to the bag. And it gets by Orlando Hudson. Upton did a good job of charging and keeping Ellis at third base. But boy, right out of the gate, here come the Oakland A's.
And here comes a slugger with 11 home runs, 32 driven in. A guy that hit 26 homers last year. Gentleman was the Diamondbacks' #1 pick in 1997. Jack Cust takes strike one. The A's as a team hit .253. That is the 3rd lowest batting average in the American League. They don't hit a ton of homers. The Twins have 44. They have 46, the 2nd lowest total. But they'll walk. They'll be patient. They'll earn their way on base the same way they've done it for several years.
That's their MO. Don't strike out much. And on base percentage.
Look at Cust. His on base is .420.
Oh, what a pitch that was. A sinker to the outside corner to jump ahead 0-1 and then busting him right in on his belly button with the sinker for strike 2. Now Cust is a guy that will strike out. He can hit it a mile when he catches up with it, but he will strike out.
Isn't that interesting? That's the Adam Dunn right there of the American League. I mean, those numbers are Adam Dunn-like.
And I never understood guys like Jack Cust, Adam Dunn, Jim Thome comes to mind as well. Guys with the huge strikeout total, but the huge walk total, because if you've got the huge walk total, you're not swinging at pitches out of the strike zone. You're just swinging through a lot of strikes.
Boy, that is a good-looking curveball on 0-2.
And you're also taking a lot of called thirds. Let's take a look at that breaking ball. Chris Snyder stays right with it. Boy. Gary Darling, home plate umpire, must have thought it was inside.
Get that changeup in his hip pocket. He wants a strikeout here. Another curveball, same spot, ball 2.
I think that one did stay inside.
Really?
Yeah. That one looked like it was more inside than the last pitch. Brandon Webb, you could tell, wanted that one equally much.
Well, does he throw him a sinker here? Does he throw him a fastball? Does he throw him a changeup? He threw him the fastball in. 3-2.
Well, 0-2 to 3-2. And now it's decision time for the Oakland A's. Do you send the runner here and try to stay out of the double play? Or do you risk the strike him out, throw him out? I'm sending the runner. If I'm Bob Guerin, I'm sending the runner, Daron Sutton.
Run a little bit, too. Pretty good speed. He was bouncing around.
He was going. Almost got him. That would have been the first time that play worked since Joe Garagiola Sr. played. Oh, hey, Joe, how are you? Almost got him.
Now, in Brandon Webb, not a very good move at all, so you know that he was cheating trying to get going. He walked him.
Boy. About as poor a start as you could ever imagine for Brandon Webb this evening. Had him 0-2 and lost him.
Third baseman number 3, Eric.
Cust, when he hits, as you talked about, either strikes out or walks. There's some interesting guys in this ball game. We mentioned his numbers are like Adam Dunn's. That's because they are exactly like Adam Dunn's. Cust, 49% of his plate appearances result in either strikeouts or walks. Dunn, 47, then Upton and Reynolds in the top 5 in that as well. Curveball to Eric Chavez, and 0-1 the count. Bases loaded, nobody out. He has thrown a ton of curveballs in comparison to what we've seen before.
He definitely making a concerted effort to use the breaking ball.
Change up, foul ball, broken bat.
Now Chavez will have to go get some new lumber. So a couple of off-speed pitches to jump ahead 0-2 on Chavez. You see the changeup right off the end of the bat, and that bat just explodes. It's those new maple bats, Daron. Those thin handles, they just explode anymore.
Those new
Dangerous.
bats, those new bats may become old bats real soon. I mean, Major League Baseball.
I hope so.
A lot of discussion to go to exclusively ash bats, just because of the danger factor for the fans and the players. In 1-2 the count.
And Brandon Webb's done a good job of getting to strike 1 and 2 on these A's hitters, but he hadn't been able to use the put-away pitch yet.
You can see Reynolds way off the bag at third. He's a couple of steps back of it. Otherwise, double play depth. They're looking to trade a runner for an out. Bouncing ball. Let's see. There's one on the first. There's your double play. Willing to trade that run, certainly, for a couple of outs.
So long, folks. So long.
Good night, everyone.
We'll be back. Every once in a while, behind the scenes, the wrong button gets pressed. Well, you got just what the doctor ordered, and that is a double play ball. Sure, a run scores. But boy, that's 2 quick outs and much needed for Brandon Webb. You get out of this with just 1, you've done a heck of a job if you're Brandon Webb.
1-0 the count to Bobby Crosby. Crosby 70 games, which means Bobby has been healthy. And it has been a long, long time since the A's have been able to say that. He gives that one a ride. Rush to center field. Young plays it off the wall. Crosby, as we said, healthy. And Hacken, it's 2-0 Oakland. Nothing hurts worse than a 2-out RBI.
Well, Brandon Webb getting hit hard here in the first inning after getting hit relatively hard 5 days ago. So far, only Eric Chavez has been fooled by the Diamondback ace. Fastball just stays up and right down the middle, and to Crosby's credit, he rushes it to center field. Off the middle of the center field wall. And the Oakland Athletics coming in here and letting it be known they mean business, just as the Royals did.
And the Diamondbacks again have to crawl out of a hole. Former Diamondback Carlos Gonzalez takes the pitch low and away with a sinker. 1-0 the count. You can see he spent a part of his season to start the year down in AAA. Down in AAA, he hit .293 with 4 homers. Change up outside. 2-0 the count. Out of Maracaibo in Venezuela, he is 22 years old, and it was Brett Anderson and Dana Evelyn and Greg Smith and Chris Carter and Aaron Cunningham for Dan Herron and Connor Robertson. Co-Rob, you bet. That deal went down 11 days before Christmas 2007, this past winter.
And I think the A's and the Diamondbacks are both very pleased with that trade.
3-0 the count. Lost him. This does not look like Brandon Webb.
Yeah, Brandon Webb is just not right. At least not right now. And Brian Price sees it. And I think probably a very concerned Brian Price.
Well, you've had struggling starts. Mike Owings, Randy Johnson, I mean, out of the ball game kind of starts right away. And this is the guy you look to, whether it's fair pressure or not. This is the guy you look to turn things around.
Well, no question. You can see Brandon Webb's already worked up a big sweat. 24 pitches already here in the first inning. These Oakland A's have done a great job of really making the big right-hander work. It's even hot indoors.
That's your number 24.
Good thing we wore this coat and tie.
Yes. Following the rules, you know.
Yes.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. It's all we can do.
He hopes all he can do is have one put on the ground and get him back in the dugout. Kurt Suzuki. Hawaiian native, went to Cal State Fullerton, and what a catcher he was for Cal State Fullerton.
And I like seeing that from Brandon Webb. Use that bread and butter pitch, that sinker, and get ahead. That was 91 miles an hour. There's no dead arm right now. I just think Brandon really broke out the off-speed stuff early in the game, and his fastball hadn't caught up. Very fortunate.
Wallace is out. You're right. That would have driven in run number 3. Wow.
That means you're out in this game when the ball hits the runner. Very fortunate, Brandon Webb and the Diamondbacks.
The manager's office, Bob Melvin, where he goes to work each and every day. He's got flow charts. He's got depth charts. He has got it all inside of that office. Got a nice refrigerator and a fine plasma television as well. Let's take a look at the lineup that he put together. And it was posted out on the wall. This is as the players see it coming in. Young, Drew, Hudson, Jackson. Then it's Tracy, it's Reynolds, Upton, Snyder, and Webb. Again, this is on your way out of the Diamondbacks locker room into the steps that take you down to the field. Bob Melvin, the skipper for these Diamondbacks. And most importantly, for us being a bit intrusive this evening, we want to thank this organization again stepping up and opening their minds to a very unique concept, taking them behind the scenes. Now he looks out at a man on the mound, Justin Dukeshire, who last year was a reliever. As a matter of fact, he was only a starter very early in his career. Look what he has done as a starting pitcher.
Oh, he's been terrific. You see the opponents aren't doing much hitting off of him. He's not walking many people either. Just a terrific young right-hander that a lot of people probably have never heard of. But you're going to hear him after this evening. He's a dandy.
He's not overpowering.
No. Cut fastballs. Likes to use that cut fastball to both sides of the plate, and there's the big curveball. A slower than slow curveball, Daron.
And there's no doubt the buzzword was cut fastball when you talk to him down there. Throw it to righties, throw it to lefties. He'll throw it away to righties with a little more angle to it, make it look like a slider. That's another slow curveball. 6 Gold Gloves making that play. Let's take a look at the defense. And it's brought to you by Rico. Jack Cust. Can't DH here, partner. You know that.
No.
The National League. He's in left field. Cargo, as they used to call him. Sweeney is in right. Chavez, Crosby, Ellis, and Barton, who has struggled defensively at first. Suzuki catches Duksher. He says, that's fine by me. I'll run him down. It was 2001 that left fielder wore a Diamondbacks uniform and played in 3 games against the Milwaukee Brewers, 2 of them in Wisconsin, 1 of them here, and thus began a major league career. He's bounced around a lot since then, but finally found a home in Oakland. 2-0, the count to Stephen Drew.
We saw the 2-0 fastball right down Broadway. Stephen Drew could only foul it back.
Stephen was 2 for 12 in that series against Kansas City. And he is just 3 for 23 in interleague play this year.
He likes picking on the National Leaguers.
Duksher sets and fires, and plenty on that fastball to first base. And a nice job. When you look at his outs and how he gets them, just about dead even. Some on the ground, some in the air. He's not a guy you'd put in either category. Not a huge strikeout pitcher. He's just an out getter.
Yeah, he just gets you out. I love playing behind guys like this. Greg Maddux was the same way. He says, if I'm striking a lot of guys out, I'm throwing too many pitches. Rick Russell used to say that. I don't need strikeouts. I just want outs.
I love that get me over curveball.
Pretty curveball, isn't it?
You start a hitter off like that. To me, the mind has to go a lot of different places now. Ground ball to short. Well, that was easy enough for Duksher and easy for you to visit the booth. And I know the camera is on its way. We'll see you soon. Thanks, folks, for hanging out with us. We'll see something else. Get out of here. Glad to have you back with us as Derek Barton digs in. Justin Duksher right behind him. And Barton takes that one right out of the catcher's mitt and lines it foul. 0-1 the count. Well, Ellis doubled. Sweeney singled. Cust walked. Chavez rolled into a double play. Crosby doubled. Gonzalez doubled, and that one is a fly ball to right field. Justin Upton puts that one away. Mark McClune moving behind the scenes. Where are you, my friend?
Just right next door in the radio booth. You can see everything that's going on. Jeff Munn calling the game. Tom Candiotti not saying anything right now, so let's kind of break into the radio broadcast here and take us behind the scenes. What's going through your mind right now calling the game? A little problem with the headset?
Yeah, it's hard because, you know, I'm a pitcher, so I can only do like one thing at a time. But basically, I'm watching Brandon Webb right now, and that's going to be the key to this game. And he's having a little bit trouble controlling his location right now is off. He's overthrowing a little bit, which happens to him sometimes early in the game. So, you know, just kind of watching that right now, and early in the game, that's kind of the key.
All right, let's kick things back over to the booth. We'll be here for the rest of the inning, guys. Thanks, Kato.
1-2 the count to Justin Duksher. Jeff Munn and the Candyman over there. Good to see Leo Gilmartin working tonight.
The governor with a much deserved.
The governor deserves it. I don't know about Leo. Oh boy, Duksher swinging the bat.
Oh no. Boy, you hope this is.
Well, I'll tell you what happened.
He must have hurt something with that. He took a big rip at that pitch. He might have strained an oblique or something like that. That's what happens.
He has 2 major league at-bats.
We can go hit, really. Yes, we go hit. Yeah, our house.
Yeah, it looks like it's something with his calf or maybe his ankle, something like that. Steve Sales, the trainer. Out of San Diego State, Steve Sales.
Well, there you have it.
He says he's okay. Bob Guerin says that's good enough for me. Steve was my trainer at San Diego State, Daron Sutton.
Was he really?
He was. He wasn't bothering going to swing it that way.
No, and I'm sure they told him not to.
Yeah, you just hope he's all right. You never want to see anything happen like that to an opposing pitcher. Hank Steinbrenner thinks the National League needs to grow up.
Really?
Yeah.
In what sense?
Because pitchers get hurt running the bases and hitting. So Hank was not pleased at all.
This ties into the Chin Ming Wong thing.
National League needs to grow up. Well, I'm sorry, but over here we're the senior circuit. We don't need to grow up.
We're a lot older. Oh boy. I've been so focused on the other team in New York all day long. I've been following Omar and Willie and Omar and Omar's press conference today, and so I apologize I missed Hank's press conference on the National League.
Chin Ming Wong out 6 weeks running the bases.
Some of the MLB news and notes. Willie Randolph let go last night. As that one is lifted, Mark Ellis, deep left field. Back in time to see a home run. Second fewest homers in the American League to Minnesota. That's 47 as a team for Ellis. That is 7. And this is ending their longest homerless drought since 1983, that home run. They had gone 6 games without a long ball.
So another off-speed pitch, a changeup. That's a pretty good pitch there. Sometimes good pitches get hit. This is down below the knees, but he just goes down and creams it into the left field seats. That's a double and a home run now for Mark Ellis off the Brandon Webb changeup. So better not throw him any more changeups.
Outside, 2-0. Brandon with his 11 victories certainly needs to get his club going offensively, but with 11 wins, more than anyone in the big leagues. That one is lifted foul. Cook and Cliff Lee, Mike Mussina, Joe Saunders of the Angels all have 10. None of them are pitching tonight. So he can rally and win this game. He can be well ahead of the field, but that's not a concern right now. It's staying in a ball game again. I mean, these Diamondbacks in successive games against the Kansas City Royals were out early.
Oh yeah, they were playing catch up. Ball 4. That's the 3rd walk now for Brandon Webb this evening. Right now, he's searching for answers, and he's continuing to search. You can see the frustration.
Here's Jack Cust.
It happens to come up there with guys on base where you need a guy that can, possibly, match up against the pitcher a little bit better and be more of a potent bat in the lineup. So, you're going to get to
Candyman. Weaving the tails over there.
He is big league. You get the hitter over on this side, you get the pitcher over on the radio side. We got all the angles covered here, folks.
And we have them covered behind the scenes. Curveball. 0-1 the count.
Boy, he's throwing a lot of off-speed stuff, isn't he, Daron? That must have been the game plan with Brian Price and Brandon Webb, Chris Snyder. We want to off-speed these guys because we've seen a bunch of it.
More curveballs really in this ball game. The runner goes. The pitch is off Snyder's catcher's mitt. To the backstop it goes. That'll be a stolen base on Sweeney, his 5th of the year. So with 2 outs now, a single from Cust.
And Brandon Webb, I think this ball just slips. He wants it in. Look where the pitch goes. My goodness. He just missed his spot by about 12 feet. So Brandon Webb still in search of his stuff.
Another curveball. 1-2 the count. Oh, well, thank you. We appreciate being on that list. My goodness.
It's a big league list. Another curveball. I've never seen Brandon Webb throw, not this year, never seen him throw this many curveballs. What's that, Daron?
I would imagine that's the radio booth. They're recording the game into an audio file.
You see that in hospital rooms.
That's actually Jeff Munn's heartbeat.
Is it?
Yes, it is. The spikes are during the hanging curveballs where it spikes.
I got you.
The 1-2. We'll do it again. 1-2 the count on Jack Cust. Cust in the big leagues with Arizona, Colorado, Baltimore, San Diego, and now here at Oakland. He hit just 176 in April. Since then, he has been really raking. 25 RBIs in May and June, hitting .302. Change up that time, and he got the swing and the miss. Continuing to try to find it, down 3-0.
And welcome back to the ballpark. Mark McClune with you. We've made the transition from TV to radio and now DBTV, joined by Rob Weinheimer, who is the director of game operations. And you see the view that you guys have from the field. What are you doing up here as you're controlling the scoreboard and letting the folks know in the ballpark what's going on?
Well, absolutely. We control the whole fan experience on the game ops side from right in this room. Right now, Johnny Watson, my right-hand man, he's calling the game. We put together a format which includes the pregame, all the in-between inning breaks, and then whatever we do post-game up there.
So how will you take care of this Connor Jackson single? How will you dial it up and show it up in the scoreboard?
We'll see. When we go, as soon as we're done in this room, we can go back into the video control, and you'll see how we run our instant replays, and we pick whatever camera we're going to be showing.
All right, you want to do that?
Sure, absolutely. Actually, while we're in this room, maybe we could show you the graphic side first.
Yeah, let's do that. We're gonna wander, guys. Making our way through into the control room. This is where they did everything from last year, and when they got the new scoreboard, obviously you grew in staff. Now what goes on in here?
Okay, right here we have our audio control area. This is where our audio guy Eric Hansen sits, as well as our DJ for the game, Bob. He selects all the music that you hear. And in this front row of people right here, there are graphic side to DBTV. Starting in the corner with Josh Stefano, he's pretty much the brains behind the board. And here's where we control all the statistical information that you see up on DBTV.
So how many stats, how much goes into what's up on the board right now?
Well, we set up a series of events that happens for the first player at bat, second, third, fourth, and each time a person comes up, you'll see different stats. The first time you see their bio, where they're from, bats right, left, height, weight. And then as the game progresses, you'll see if he's up with the bases loaded, you'll see career with bases loaded. Or if it's a righty or lefty pitcher, you'll see the splits in that case as well.
What do you have up there on Chad Tracy right now?
Well, let's see. I can't quite see from here. Let's see. Okay, yeah. What we call this is our game in progress, our GIP look. And you'll see the left and right towers. In the left tower, you'll see his season stats at the very top. Then you'll see his player bio, and then a note, which is what he did on Friday versus Kansas City.
And right here, fouls one back. Should we make our way back to the control room?
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Let's kick it back to the booth as we make our way to the control room.
2-2 the count on Chad Tracy. Connor Jackson with a single. The in-game experience. We continue with your in-home experience. A little bit of both tonight behind the scenes. 3 home runs, 4 driven in, the walk-off a couple of nights ago, then the opener in that series against Kansas City in the 10th inning.
Well, he just took a breaking ball. Looked like it got the outside corner, but this time Dukeshire doesn't get the call.
He took a changeup out for the game-winning homer. Hitting and running. The throw down and not in time. Stolen base. Connor Jackson, number 4.
I like to see that. I like to see the aggressiveness. Unfortunately, Chad Tracy swung at ball 4. This pitch was up and away. Suzuki with a poor throw. And Jackson in easily.
Connor Jackson now with 4 stolen bases, as many as Chris Young has this season.
Amazing. And Chris Young's kind of put the brakes on this year, hasn't he?
3 more stolen bases than Justin Upton has this year. And twice as many as Stephen Drew.
Amazing. Just shows you don't have to be a fast base runner to be a good base runner. Connor Jackson, I like seeing it. I like aggressiveness, especially when you're struggling to score runs. Man, make it happen.
First pitch, a cut fastball over the inside corner. He'll throw it away as well. That one covered right back down the middle, and it's popped up to the right side. Mark Ellis is there, and he puts it away. 2 outs.
And the difference we've been seeing this homestand, Daron, is the A's, the Royals, when they got mistakes, they didn't miss them. They pounded them. Diamondbacks, well, they've been missing mistakes or fouling them back, popping them up. That's why you struggle.
There is one non-interleague game, and it's bad news for the Diamondbacks, as the Dodgers have defeated the Cincinnati Reds 3-1 the final, as Upton takes low. Chad Billingsley pitched very well, 6 1/3 innings. He struck out 9 in 6 1/3, 1 run allowed. Johnny Cueto went 7 innings, just 2 runs allowed. 3-1 the final score.
No, you can't expect the Los Angeles Dodgers to lose the rest of their games this year.
1-1 the count to Justin. No, you sure can't.
I mean, pretty soon you got to create your own luck. The Diamondbacks have gotten very fortunate with the Dodgers and the rest of the West playing lousy baseball. But pretty soon that trend's going to change, and the West is going to start playing better. And the Diamondbacks, they need to change right with them. Create your own luck.
One and 2 the count to Justin. There's the West. That's how it shakes out with the Dodgers' victory. Diamondbacks, obviously, you can see it right there in your living room. The lone team above 500 in their division. Slow curveball, strike 3. Connor Jackson single and stolen base, the only threat so far in this ball game. Otherwise, it's all Oakland.
The Diamondbacks trail the Oakland A's. Welcome back. We are in the command center here for DBTV. Take a look at how many people it takes to pull off what goes on here in game operations during the day. 8 full-time staff members, 7 interns, a PA announcer. We're going to go hear from him in a second. 2 in-game hosts, and you just see the list as it goes down the line. Back with Rob Weinheimer in here, and take us through what's going on here in the command center.
Sure, absolutely. It takes a lot of people to make this work, as you just saw on that list. And we have our technical director, who's Dan, and our great ballpark producer director, Gary Thomas, who's been with the Diamondbacks since the very beginning. To his right, you see a click effect system where we play all of our little commercial breaks back in between innings and our headshots and whatnot. That's David Roberts. And then to his right is LJ, and she's doing the Chiron, the duet. That's where you get all those little great stats on the bottom of the screen. We call them lower thirds.
How many things do you have up on the scoreboard that you're responsible for in here? Like, how many people are responsible for each element?
Well, pretty much everyone's responsible for their own element, and the director is in charge of calling each of those shots, and the technical director is the one who actually presses the buttons and makes it all happen. And over here in the back row, if you see, this is our replay system. So it's called an EVS. We call it an Elvis, and Robbie is manning that today.
All right, and there's Robbie. We see him wave. Let's go head over and check in with the PA announcer. How about that?
Sounds good.
Shortstop Bobby Crosby.
Connor Jackson in left field.
Well, you see the effort. Great effort there from Connor Jackson. But he can't come up with it. And another base hit. That's base hit number 6 here with nobody out in the 3rd inning. 6. So Brandon Webb needing to find his stuff and find it pronto.
So he goes with the changeup to start off Bobby Crosby. 0-1 the count. Nobody out, again, a runner in scoring position. Hot shot, base hit, right field. And the Oakland A's continue to rake the baseball all over the ballpark. This time a well-struck single to the right side. Double, single, and just like that, another threat by the Oakland A's.
And Brandon Webb's getting it handed to him right now. Orlando Hudson out to talk to his right-hander. Just try to maybe tell him a joke or something like that right now. 7 base hits.
Well, now he faces Carlos Gonzalez, who certainly is a guy who he faced in batting practice in Tucson, a guy that he saw in inter-squad games last spring training. Gonzalez, since he's come to the big leagues, though, timely hitting has been his thing. In a short amount of time, 471 with runners in scoring position. He walked last time up. Last year, AA and AAA hit 288, 17 home runs, 86 RBIs in Mobile and in Tucson. Colorado winning tonight. They're beating Cleveland 4-1. That game's in the top of the 5th inning. The Yankees shut out San Diego 8-0. Gone are the days when you mentioned National League Western Division scores where you just mentioned the Dodgers score.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the Diamondbacks have allowed the rest of the West to be in the thick of it.
One and one. That one's up. You can see him drift underneath that one. Webb, that is.
Yeah, you can see he's really laboring. You're gonna have to find it and find it pronto.
Two and one the count. Three to nothing the score. A team like San Diego on May 20th. The Padres, they were 11.5 games out. And even after that loss today, the San Diego Padres, instead of 11.5 games out, find themselves 7 games back. Two and one. Runners on first and third. Bouncing ball to short. Gonna get another double play. No. Runs far too well there to turn the double play. Another run scores. And it's 4-0. So Gonzalez with an RBI, his 11th RBI of the year. Score that 6-4, and again Gonzalez reaches. Shows that good speed racing up the line. Oakland 4, Arizona nothing. Here's Kurt Suzuki. Big jump, throw down, stolen base.
I'll tell you what, this Oakland A's team is a lot of fun to watch. I mean, you talk about aggressive. Come on, talk about taking it to the opposing team's ace. I mean, no nonsense. These guys are ball players, and I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Right down the middle to Kurt Suzuki. They have lowered their payroll, and it's not very often, folks, if at all, you will hear Mark and I talk about salaries and payroll, because it doesn't really affect what goes on, but I mention it as a positive to Oakland. It's their lowest team payroll since 2002. Ground ball, Stephen Drew ranges and throws in time for the out. More on that in a minute. Let's go over to Mark McClune.
Hey guys, we're here with the PA announcer. Listen in.
First baseman Derek Barton.
It's kind of cool to be up close and personal back here with Rob Weinheimer. What goes on here? You sit right next to Rob as he's announcing, doing the public address.
Yeah, that's Chuck Drago. He's our public address announcer. And, you know, he's in for a treat today, as it turns out, because we have a little announcer to help him out next inning. That's Brianna.
And you bring kids up here, what is it, every game or a couple times a week to announce with Chuck?
Sure, we do it pretty much every Sunday, and then at various other times during the week.
All right, and that's little Brianna there getting all filled in on what she's going to do. Pretty exciting stuff, huh?
Oh yeah, we always like it when we have a chance to bring a fan up here and first of all see it from this amazing vantage point. You know, just earlier this week, even on Father's Day, we had Chuck's father come in and be our PA announcer for an inning. That was really something special.
And let's check in with Brianna real quick before the walk. Brianna, hi, Mark McClune, FSN Arizona. How are you? Nervous or ready to go?
Kind of a little bit of both.
There's nothing to this microphone stuff. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
All right, good luck. Guys, let's toss it back to the booth.
All right, thank you very much. They intentionally walked Derek Barton and Justin Dukeshire, who had an uncomfortable reaction. That's the only way we were told. We wound it back in the truck, took a look, and really didn't see anything with the swing at all, Gracie. But he started favoring his lower leg, somewhere in his calf area, and he's taken.
I would imagine he's been told to stand up there like a statue. And if he throws you three right down the middle, so what? We need you to pitch. So far, they don't really need him to hit. Very statuesque right there for strike two. Maybe a pretty fountain over in Rome.
See, that's a good call.
Yeah. What do you think? The Dukeshire fountain. Oh, Justin. Yes, very, very statuesque.
And the families came from miles around. They put their dollars down just for a quick glimpse at the Dukeshire fountain. Time to do some homework. Let's do that. Let's head down to study hall. Here's Mark McClune with video coordinator for the Diamondbacks, Jim Kerrigan.
All right, take it away.
All right, well, thanks a lot, Daron. We're down here in the video room. And Jim, what does being the video coordinator entail?
Well, I pretty much run this room, and what this room does is provide video for all the players and the coaches using like a computer database. What I'll be doing during the game is I'll be using this BATS application, this BATS program, to chart the game, where I'll be kind of editing all of the video, where I'll make it into 6-7 clips of each pitch, and I'll attach data to it. I'll attach who the players were, what the pitch was, what happened to the pitch, called strike, ball, put in play, all that kind of stuff, put a spray chart together. All of the data that you can possibly think of that goes onto a pitch will be attached to that video of the pitch.
And how much has that changed the game, the BATS program?
You know, in probably the last, I would say, 8 to 10 years, it has gone from a luxury item in a major league clubhouse to an asset. It almost becomes a necessity. You have to have it. You know, and the players have really warmed to it. You know, you can remember guys like Tony Gwynn were huge video guys back in their day. And it's become almost everybody is that way now, especially every starting player in a lineup. They'll always be back here hours before a game looking at video of the starting pitcher, and then they'll be down in the dugout watching what I'm doing. As soon as an at-bat's over, they'll have instant access to it on a laptop down there.
So they'll just be able to dial it up and look at their at-bat immediately after it?
Absolutely. We refer to that as instant access. So all of our ball players have a chance to, as soon as they come off the field, it'll be there, and it'll be there in edited form. So, you know, it's only 6 or 7 second clips. There's not the action of the ball goes back to the pitcher and then he, you know, rubs it up or whatever. It's just the action.
Been doing this 8 years, so can you cheer also while you're watching the game?
Yeah, but not too loudly. I got to concentrate on what I'm doing.
All right, we'll let him get back to what he's doing. Daron, back to you.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Well, you know what that means, Daron.
Yes.
You got no excuses.
All the homework you can do?
No, you know, if the player's making out or if they give up, you got no excuses. No surprises. You know everything.
What about the human element?
Ball players love to make excuses. I mean, I would have never had a long career without a lot of good excuses. Are you kidding me? Man, I didn't know he threw that pitch. I didn't know he had a slider.
Oh, no.
Now you don't have that excuse anymore.
I'll tell you what, you cannot hide.
Well, that stinks.
You cannot hide to me as a hitter or a pitcher in the major leagues. You can go up to anyone on the Diamondbacks coaching staff and ask for the inside skinny on Justin Duxer, and you'll get it. They don't even have to go to the videotape. They will have it already in their heads as Webb goes down on strikes. All right, our Brown and Brown Chevrolet key to the game. You are going to have to explain this one for me. Do you mean like all your stuff because we have to go on a trip, find your stuff and take it on a trip? Or?
No. If you're Brandon Webb, you got to find your stuff.
I figured that's what you meant.
Yeah, because I don't think you can fall behind Duxer any more than 4 runs. It's been a struggle so far for Brandon Webb and the offense. So Brandon Webb and the hitters, time to find their stuff. Get in that video room. What do you think?
I don't know. Maybe don't go in the video room.
I agree. I always stayed in the dugout. You can learn a lot watching.
Maybe just forget about everything for a few days.
I agree.
Clear your head.
Should we just go home?
Well, not us.
Oh.
We're not allowed to. Popped up to the right side.
Find your stuff, Daron.
Well, I know we have a long trip coming up. I can't find half of it.
Justin Duxer's found his stuff.
Oh, you bet he has. 4-0. Inside the Diamondbacks clubhouse earlier today. Don't forget, each game, watch for the Camaro to win either tickets to an upcoming game or an autographed item. And go to vanchevrolet.com to enter the word. Each entry is not only a chance to win that day's prize, but a chance to win a new 09 Camaro. The word is trade. Stay tuned for the D-backs live post-game show. We will announce tonight's winner. Strike 1 to Mark Ellis. I'm sorry that threw you off your game again, Gracie.
It's becoming a habit.
Ellis so far a double to left and a homer.
Change up out of the ballpark. And his first at bat, a change up for a double down the line. So Brandon Webb probably needs to stick the change up right in his back pocket and save it for the rest of the A's lineup.
1 ball and 2 strikes to count. 29-year-old right-hander certainly laboring tonight. And the word labor sums up these Arizona Diamondbacks of late. Laboring to find their offense. For Bob Melvin, laboring to find consistent starting pitching. Good night tonight to have a case of the rallies and come back and win this ball game. They did it twice in New York City.
Well, they really did it 3 times in New York City.
You're right. One of them just ended up being a loss. They came from behind 3 times.
Boy, Brandon Webb didn't get the call there. Wow. Hadn't been near as much fun since April, has it?
3-2. Let's go back a pitch, and the pitch that Brandon Webb wanted. And let's see.
I think it was just a shade outside. 4 walks. 7 hits and 4 walks through 3+ innings. That is, I'm sorry, 5 walks. That is a lot of base runners for these Oakland Athletics. Brandon Webb's been in the stretch, well, all night.
Walks and hits per innings pitched. They like to call it whip. It's a pitching category. And you were talking about it. All those base runners. He is number 2 in Major League Baseball. Fewest base runners per inning of work.
I believe it. He rarely walks people. He doesn't give up many hits.
Coming into this ball game, his whip, walks and hits per innings pitched, an even 1.00. Justin Duchscher 1.01. Only Sean Markham of Toronto better at a .99.
Sean Markham. Oh, he's big league.
He is this year. 1-1 the count to Sweeney.
Up there in the Great White North, just dealing.
Fourth on that list, by the way, in the big leagues, Dan Herron. Boy, Sweeney waited forever, then he rakes it down the left field line, going the other way with it. That looked like a sinker that stayed up, and he did what you're supposed to do with a sinker up in the zone. Hit it hard, and you don't have to pull it.
I think it's definitely time for Bob Melvin to maybe get on the phone and see if the bullpen's ready to get loose. That was a beautiful piece of hitting right there from Sweeney. Driving a sinker the other way. Yep, there's the phone call. Is McClune behind the scenes down there in the bullpen?
I don't know.
Where is Mark McClune? See, you know, maybe we can get Mac to help Jeff Matuzin, man. Maybe catching the bullpen down there a little
Warm
bit.
some guys up.
Behind the scenes, that would be big league.
Now that would be really behind the scenes. 0-1 the count. Put the gear on. Stuntman getting loose, Edgar Gonzalez.
Diamondbacks have the infield in. They realize they can't fall behind any further.
Lifted deep left field. Connor Jackson makes the play. That was an absolute lightning bolt to left. And a fine play by Connor out there. It drives in the 5th run.
Well, he made a circus catch there. Well, Brandon Webb gave up another bullet. Connor Jackson goes back. Makes a gorgeous catch. Man. And he will tell everybody I had it all the way. Well, that is a super catch. But another run for these Oakland A's. 5-0. Tell you what, these Oakland Athletics, they didn't just come to play tonight, Daron. They came to win.
Well, they've been doing it all year long. 38-31. 3 games back of the Angels coming in that American League Western Division. Snyder totally crossed up there. He was looking for something else, and he got a fastball. And I'll tell you what, you want to talk about scary.
Now, he's all right. He's looking for a breaking ball. He gets a fastball right in the kneecap. And he's very fortunate that the ball bounced right back to Brandon Webb, so there was no advancement by the base runner Sweeney. Boy, rough night all around for these rascals.
2-0 on Chavez. 6-time Gold Glover, and he takes outside. 3-0 the count. Off-season back surgery cost him some time, not available to play until the end of May. 6 times he has homered more than 25 times in a season. 4 times he's gone over 100 RBIs, and he's taken all the way. 3-1 the count. 83 pitches for Brandon Webb. Uncharacteristic ratio too. 35 balls, 48 strikes. Just been a tough night for him. That one belted. Deep left field. Connor Jackson. It's gone. It is 7-0 Oakland A's. Chavez waits back, homers for the 2nd time, and the A's are rolling. And end of the ball game for these Diamondbacks. It appears out of reach early.
Well, they're officially down a touchdown. A 3-1 fastball away. He just goes down and rips it. Not a bad pitch at all, but a strong young man in Eric Chavez, and he just ripped it out of the ballpark. I would imagine mercifully Bob Melvin's going to have to come out and remove Brandon Webb from the game. And there he comes.
FSN Arizona presents D-backs baseball, brought to you by Pennzoil, Field to Clean, and by SRP, helping you live wisely in the desert. Speaking of SRP, here is your SRP cool change tip of the game, and a reminder: for every run the D-backs score this season, SRP will plant 10 trees. Tough night for Brandon Webb, his shortest outing in the big league since October 1st, 2006. In that ball game, he went 4 innings, gave up 7 runs against the San Diego Padres. His shortest big league start was in September of '04. Jerry Lane made the judgment that Webb had thrown at Woody Williams against the Cardinals and ejected him with none out in the 3rd inning. That's a little bit different. So Edgar goes to work.
And there's the stunt man, our all-tell call to the pen, Edgar Gonzalez. They're going to need him to throw at least a couple or 3, I would imagine, Daron.
Yep.
Boy. The ball's not carrying to first.
Bobby had it carrying back in the 1st inning, though, when he drilled a double. He also singled in this ball game. Now, this is a guy. 84 games in '05, 96 games in '06, 93 games in '07. Hand, back, thumb, knee, quad. It's a lot of injuries in his young career. Young man out of Long Beach State.
Dirtbag.
Yeah, he's been healthy all year, though. Been able to be a dirtbag.
Oh, dear.
All right, Mark Grace, you ready?
Yes. What?
I need you to put on your thinking cap.
Oh, boy.
Here is our Aflac trivia question. I'm told it's a behind-the-scenes question.
I can imagine.
How many people are on the FSN Arizona crew for tonight's broadcast?
137.
That's a very good guess, but
Wow.
That's not right. And again, very little respect is paid to any guess you make.
I mean, it wasn't even out of my mouth yet.
No. Just a lot of, I think, I don't know how you say it, people just taking you for granted. Kind of like that good old pair of shoes that you wear on Saturday. Ground ball, Orlando Hudson gobbles it up, fires in time for the out, but 3 more runs for these A's. If you didn't know much about him coming in, what do you think so far? Taking a look ahead, Miller Lite, what's brewing? Pop open one, why don't you? And our good friends remind you about the Miller Lite Diamondbacks live pregame show. Todd Walsh will bring you Oh That Burns. Good Sport nominee of the week and a feature on Dan Herron's training regimen. Oh, and 1 the count to Stephen Drew. Justin Craig Dukeshire, South Dakota, is where he hails from.
Really?
That's where he was born. And the right-hander.
What part of South Dakota?
Well, Aberdeen, South Dakota.
You ever been there?
I have not. I have been. Where did I go in South Dakota?
I've never been in the state of South Dakota, unfortunately.
I just remember it was very cold.
Really? Were you there maybe?
South Dakota State in January.
For basketball?
Yes.
Wow.
Is there a Brookings? Maybe that's where it was. 1 and 2 the count. Chopper out to short. Look at that pick on the backhand. What a play by the shortstop, Bobby Crosby.
Well, these guys came to play this evening. Daron, Sutton, and folks at home. What a gorgeous play, and then a rocket across the diamond to get Stephen Drew by a half a step. And that's just a beautiful play by Bobby Crook.
Again, they have him healthy, and they love that. Here's Orlando Hudson. Big swing, and he fouls it off. 0-1 the count. Dukeshire spent his time as he got older in the Dakotas and also in Texas. And as he got a little bit older, was in Lubbock, Texas, where he was drafted by the Red Sox out of high school in 1996. And again, there's a lot of letters in there, but it's just Duke. Sure. There's a breaking ball. Hudson with a single into center field. Orlando 1 for 2 after that 4 strikeout game on Sunday. Good to see him bouncing back.
Stays right back up the box with it. That's where the biggest gaps are, is up the middle. So 137 was wrong, Daron, on my guess.
I'm going to go with 52. And that includes us, by the way, the 46.
How come you didn't get buzzed?
Well, they knew I was close.
Thank you. Makes me feel a lot better.
Oh, they told me that was for you, calling me out on the non-buzz.
Oh.
There's a little bit of respect, I think, from me that I feel each day from the truck. None for you. It frustrates me for you.
Try being me.
Please. See?
What was that all about?
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Grace.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
1-1 the count. I actually have no idea what that was. Connor Jackson, fly ball, right field. And
that sounded like something from maybe like, oh, that Burns or something like that.
It did. It did. There they are getting ready out at the set. Brad Stanky will be heading out there. It's already the 4th inning. Here's Chad Tracy. But I mean, you think about that name, D-U-C-H-S-C-H-E-R-E-R. Just Duke Sure. To me, it's a little bit intimidating. For a broadcaster anyway. Look at it on his jersey.
Is that an Italian background?
I can only go as far back as South Dakota. I'm trying to go further back. His dad was a big Yankees fan.
Really?
Which could be Italian.
Yeah, could be an Italian background.
Most all Italians are Yankees fans. Justin was a Rangers fan growing up.
Texas Rangers or New York Rangers?
Texas Rangers. First big league game, he saw Nolan Ryan strike out 13. He hasn't struck out 13, only 3, but he has done a great job. When we come back, we continue behind the scenes. Get that door open. We're going inside the production truck. We're gonna...
And welcome back. We are just outside the ballpark. This is the television production truck, and you see where all the magic happens right here. Technical director on the right, Marty Tarr, our director in the center, and Andy Bach, our game producer, sitting next to Liz Scott, keeping time. You see it right there, and everything that Daron Sutton and Mark Grace see, most of the things that they're talking about are happening right in here. This right here is the Fox box. That thing you see at the very bottom of the screen, that's Richard doing the Fox box, getting all our stats together at the bottom of the screen. You hear Marty Tarr here, our director, making calls. Let's listen in to Marty real quick.
Take 7, ready, fly up your box, fly up your box.
Nice shirt, Marty.
Ready to fly the box? No, don't go. Ready to fly the box out, ready to take 2. Fly the box out, take 2.
I need to say about that, Kurt Suzuki with a home run, and for Suzuki, his second of the year.
Nice going, Marty. We got a good view of that one on camera 5.
Ready, Chiron 1, insert. Who had it? The ball being thrown back in right there. Lose a Chiron. Ready, dissolve B. Play B, dissolve B. Ready, dissolve 4. Ready, dissolve 5. Dissolve 5. Ready, 4. Take 4. Ready, 2. Ready, fly A on a replay. Fly A on a replay.
As you can see, it's quite an intricate process here. Seeing the home run, and from the time you see it to where it hits in the stands to the replay. Jason here is our technical director. You can see him, it looks like he's playing a piano here, all the different buttons that he's pushing. Everything that Marty says. I don't know if you can hear Daron talking to us in his talk back right there.
That's not true. I wasn't saying anything.
Ready, dissolve 4. Dissolve 4.
All right, and as we...
8-0 the score. Mark McClune, thank you very much. Behind the scenes as that one is a strike. 0-2 the count to Justin Dukeshire, the pitcher.
The statue.
You bet.
He's going to be a statue.
And he should be.
Absolutely. There it is. Oh.
All right, McClune, what do you got, partner?
Well, this is where all the video takes place right here. Derek Peacock is our man, and he is looking up the different shots right here. There's one shot that, if I could request one, if I could be director just for a minute. Do you have that shot available right now? I don't know if he does. There we go. That's the shot I'd like right there, if that's okay. Can we get that up on the screen?
How come those seats are empty?
I think I'm going to go up there and sit with those guys.
1-0 the count.
Let's kick it back up to you. I'm going to go up top and sit with my my fan club.
As they all applaud in the truck. Thank you, Mark. We give you a hard time.
Good stuff, Mac.
Change up and a dandy. 1-1 the count to Mark Ellis. They came from miles around to see the Dukeshire statue. People plop down their coins.
Photo opportunities. Arm in arm, get the kids in. Oh, there's the statue. This was us over at the Coliseum. Used to have gladiators in there. And this is us at the Dukeshire statue. Everybody loves that one.
That's my head right there.
3-1 the count.
Here we are at Pompeii.
Outside, he lost him. That's ball 4. And we kid because we don't blame him at all for being a statue. Again, he swung at a pitch in the second inning. Justin Dukeshire. It looked like he had injured his calf. Hasn't affected his work on the mound at all. And since then, he has stood still and taken 6 consecutive, actually 7, because he took strike 3.
Saying heck with it. I'll just pitch, and pitch very well.
8-0. What would you do? Pitch.
Be a statue at the plate.
Hard ground ball knocked down by Tracy. To the bag he goes. All right, we bid the truck adieu.
Good night, truck.
We remind you everything is better with Mark McClune. All right, let's see if these gentlemen can scratch and scrape and claw and make a ball game of this tonight. Justin Dukeshire has been some kind of special. This will help get it started. Mark Reynolds racing around. A stand-up double for Mark. He is 1 for 2 this evening. He has 17 hits in his last 14 games, and he's slugging nearly 800.
Right fielder
Picked on a breaking ball. You can see how nicely he kept his hands back long enough, and he's so strong that even if he drifts out a little bit, just keeping it fair is the key for Reynolds. Always something to work on, always an area in which to grow if you're the Diamondbacks, no matter the score. And when you have guys that are here quickly anyway with regard to player development, you take nights like tonight when you're down 8-0 very serious until the last strike.
Yeah, you don't cash anything in. There's always things that you can work on. There's always things that you need experience with, you can get better at.
One and one the count. Upton struck out back in the second inning. And he struck out on that pitch right there. Big slow curveball.
Just can't wait long enough.
There's a peek at our audio board. Fred doing a great job in there. Taking these two beautiful voices up here, making them sound at least decent. Doing the best he can with us.
He's up against it every night.
Oh, I tell you.
He's got an uphill battle. Is he the guy that's always buzzing me, Daron?
No respect for you, Gracie.
Fred. I thought we were tight.
Cut fastball down and away to Justin Upton.
That's the... Hate that machine. Like that machine.
2-2 the count. He throws him that slow curveball here. He did, and that is back-to-back strikeouts for Justin Upton. Don't forget about the coolest 4th of July show in the Valley. Enjoy air-conditioned Chase Field where the D-backs take on the Padres, and we'll open the roof so you can sit back and watch the fireworks after the game. Plus, the first 25,000 fans receive a commemorative D-backs 4th of July t-shirt. Call 602-514-8400 or visit dbacks.com. 4th of July. Justin Upton, in his last 73 at-bats, has 7 hits and 41 strikeouts. One and one the count. Snyder lined out. Back in the 3rd inning. Never had an at-bat against these Oakland A's in the regular season. The right-hander left that cut fastball right out over the plate.
You can see Chris Snyder had a great rip at it, but fouled back.
Now those are the robotic cameras. Camera right behind home plate. That is controlled right there inside of. There it is. Don Shea, nice job.
Move your pan your camera.
Two and two the count. Good pitch. Three and two. That was a straight 4-seam fastball. He'll throw a cut fastball and try to hit that inside corner as well. Full count, 1 out. There it is, right there. That was a cut fastball.
Tried to start it right on the front hip of Chris Snyder and bring it to the inside corner. Watch, he starts it inside and tries to bring it to the inside corner, but Chris Snyder was waiting. That was able to pull it foul.
It's a gutsy pitch, though, isn't it?
Yeah, if you miss out over, those go a long ways.
Go back 10, 15 years, you didn't see that much.
No. Nobody had the guts to throw it.
And if you want to go behind the scenes and understand, as that slow curve ball hit on the ground, diving attempt, what that did was not take away a base hit, but it kept the shutout intact for Dukeshire. That took away a run.
It saved a run. You're absolutely right, Daron Sutton. You love to see, with an 8-0 lead, love to see these guys selling it out. Ball's not hit all that hard, but look at Bobby Crosby just giving it every ounce of his heart and soul, saving his pitcher's ERA, and his pitcher's got an awfully good ERA in Dukeshire.
And so with one out, and the Diamondbacks, having Brandon Webb leave this ball game early, send Edgar up, down 8-0. We talk about wanting to make a pitch now. Get the pitcher in the box. I'll take you behind the scenes on something else. Edgar, legendary in batting practice, in the sense that if there was not a cage that surrounded the home plate area that rolled out, he would hit every line drive into the Diamondbacks dugout in batting practice.
Well, watch his front foot and his front hip,
exactly
and you'll see why.
Grounds at the third. There's one. They got to play at the plate. Tag safe. The Diamondbacks scratch.
Well, why wouldn't you try to turn the double play?
I have no idea what changed his mind, especially with the pitcher running.
Nice play there by Chavez. Throws it for one, and then inexplicably Ellis goes to the plate. A beautiful slide there. Boy, I think the Diamondbacks got a break. I think he was nothing but out.
Oh, you're right.
I guess Ellis was getting taken out by Chris Snyder, so I don't believe he was able to make the throw to first base, so he tried to come home, and well, he ended up making a nice play. Diamondbacks got a break.
8-1 the score. Edgar doesn't get cheated, does he?
No. He's not a statue.
No.
At the plate.
I mean, he does cheat when he hits. I mean, with those hips, but he's not about to get cheated. That is his second big league RBI. Second.
Well, at least the pitchers are driving him in.
Chris Young scuffling, one for his last 17. Trying to keep everybody healthy. That is so important in Major League Baseball, no doubt about it. Let's go down. Mark McClune with the head athletic trainer Ken Crenshaw, and the conversation is now, guys.
All right, we're down here in the weight room, and Ken, I imagine you got into baseball to watch some games, but is most of your time spent right here in the weight room? What are you doing during the game?
Well, there's multiple different things we do, not only in the weight room, but in the athletic training room as well. So, you know, a lot of the things that we do, we kind of try to do as a team. So I've got multiple other members here of our team that we'd like to at least introduce and let everybody know. First is Nate Shaw, our strength and conditioning coordinator. Dave Edwards, he's our associate athletic trainer. And Neil Ramps, our manual therapist, is also an athletic trainer.
So what will you guys be doing during the game? Getting guys coming out of the games and trying to get a workout in before they have to go home?
Yeah, during the game, there's a lot of action that takes place underneath the scenes. You know, players that are coming out of the game, particularly pitchers, we have some exercise programs for them that we all kind of carry out. We've got, you know, a lot of manual therapy stuff, recovery things that we do, you know, hot tubs, cold tubs, nutrition, recovery type things for them. And then, you know, also the rehabilitation players, there's a lot of time spent during the game where we do, you know, their rehab programs and a lot of recovery stuff as well.
So y'all are the first people here and the last ones to leave, is that right?
Well, I think we got to give that hat to the clubhouse guys that are probably here before us, but we spend a lot of time here, and you know, we take a lot of pride in what we do, and got a tremendous team here that supports our program. So I'm only one piece of the puzzle.
Hopefully you can get out there and watch a little bit of this one tonight. Let's kick it back to the booth. Set, take it away.
All right, thank you very much, Mark McClune and Ken Crenshaw, Dave Edwards, Nate Shaw, Neil Ramp. They all do a wonderful job. Ken Crenshaw, head athletic trainer, earlier today.
Third baseman Eric Chavez.
Trying to get Eric Burns back on the field as soon as he can. Working on those hamstrings. As that one is rolled foul by Eric Chavez. Chavez homered a 2-run shot, and it was a thing of beauty. I mean, waiting back and just a lightning bolt to left field. Opposite field homer. He's got 2 hits today. He's got 11 hits in his last 8 games. As that one is high. We talk about the defensive seasons work he has done with his glove. Brooks Robinson, obviously the most dominating defensive third baseman in American League history, with 16 Gold Gloves. Chavez with 6, second in that total. Mr. Athletic, there's no doubt about it since he has arrived. Ranking amongst the top 10 in homers, top 5 actually. Homers, RBIs, extra base hits, doubles. 6 Gold Gloves. Brooks Robinson 16, Mike Schmidt 10, Scott Rowland 7, Buddy Bell and Eric Chavez with 6.
Wow. Look at Edgar.
Thankless job, isn't it?
Wow. Well, we got the Stank Man and Gregson Frampton.
And Digger, look at Digger.
Digger's over there. There's the Dig Man.
Digger's just bothering all the riders. Look at him.
Be quiet, Digger. Just be quiet. Take a breath, Digger.
Just leaning in, just telling them what they should write about. Well, Gregson doing a great job with Brad working on the post-game show. Digger's writing 4 columns in tomorrow's local paper.
Hey,
Too late, Digger. Look at him now. Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm working on the show.
We got you now, Digger. You got caught.
Spin that one. Rare bad Webby appearance.
Some of the best seats in the house.
I tell you, that Digger really tries to be the king of all media, doesn't he? Print media.
Well, he is.
Internet. TV. Radio.
Wears a lot of hats.
CB. Short band radio.
Short band. Oh, you can pick up Digger overseas.
Blogging.
Is he a blogger?
Oh, you should see it's a good one.
Oh, I love it. You can get Digger on the message boards.
2-2 the count.
Look, Edgar Gonzalez
doing a fabulous job. He just struck out the side. Oh, Digger. Read his latest post on DiamondbacksBullpen.com. FSN Arizona presents D-backs baseball. It's brought to you by Jack in the Box, where we don't make it until Digger orders it, and by APS, the official power partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks. All right, let's summarize in this ball game. It has been a big night for the A's. Bobby Crosby with a double and an RBI. 2 runs scored that inning. A long ball off the bat of Mark Ellis. Another run scored in the 2nd inning. 3rd inning, they plated a run. Then in the 4th inning, they plated 3. Eric Chavez with a 2-run homer, and Brandon Webb disappointed in his evening tonight. And the A's, oh, they are riding them cowboy. Having a good old time.
That's a big league hat right there, Dad.
I would agree with that.
I think you'd look good in one of those.
Well, you know what, Gracie? You find me a red one, and I'll wear it tomorrow night to the redhead section.
I promise to find one Sonoran sand.
You're going to wear a Sonoran sand one? By the way, we want to make sure that it's just about sold out. Again, you folks have done it again, the redhead section.
You guys are awesome.
We will be out there. We will be visiting. You will be on television a lot. Broken bat, fly ball, center field.
There's another one of those maple bats, Daron, just exploding.
Don't forget about the redhead section tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, D-backs and the A's. Tickets are just $17.50 and include a special redheads t-shirt. This one, I will show it to you in a minute because it is worth collecting. You get a $7.50 discount. A portion of the proceeds benefit charity, the Arizona Diamondbacks Foundation. Pick up tickets at dbacks.com/redheads or call 602-514-8400. Gracie, I know you're proud of this one. This is your creation, and this is the collectible here. There it is. Smaller faces, which is important, and Carr.
And on the back,
Orlando Hudson fly ball center field. And then on the back, the
schedule and
the tour stops, if you will, right here. And then game on. There it is, right there.
It's a big league shirt.
So we know it'll be sold out. You'll help us do it. Got all kinds of cameras. I mean, there's cameras everywhere here. Very scary. Cameras, look at that. Cameras everywhere.
We're not that funny looking, ladies. Come on.
Oh, but we are.
Yeah. Wishful thinking on our part.
We are. Connor Jackson, ground ball. Chavez across the diamond. What a play by Eric Chavez. They love having him back. That back is healthy after the surgery. He's got 6 gold gloves, and he'd never earned a single one of them by accident. Trying to keep things organized tonight. We can do it not even close to the level of Roger Riley. He is standing by down with Mark McClune. Guys?
Yeah, that's true, Daron Sutton. Roger Riley, nothing happens in the Diamondbacks clubhouse, and they don't go anywhere without you doing it. What does your job entail?
Well, a little bit of everything. We try to get from city to city and take care of planes, trains, automobiles, equipment trucks, what have you, tickets, and just try to make the moves as easy as possible for the guys.
Now, you played a little ball back in the day. Did you ever know so much went into moving a baseball team from one town to the next?
No, it was so long ago that all we did was just walk out from the locker room out to the field. So it didn't take much, and we rode in vans all the time. So
now your job is year-round pretty much. You don't have an off season. Why?
Well, I start probably in July when the schedule comes out for next year and start making plans with the hotels and the airlines and all the trucks and stuff. So it goes year round. We got winter meetings in December that we have to get everybody to. This year it's in Vegas, so that makes it kind of nice easy trip for us. And
away from the baseball field, who gets you from town to town?
Usually I do, and then my wife and daughter kind of follow me around, and I probably push them along like I do these guys too.
So they're not making any travel reservations? You pretty much have that down?
No, they throw that in my lap, and I do it in the off season too.
Well, you have a thankless job, and we certainly appreciate it. Getting us from town to town, part of the TV crew. Seth, back to you.
Thank you very much. That one is foul. That one looked like a nonstop flight to Miami. But it is a foul ball. Roger Riley, I mean, a little bit of everything. He and his entire staff, they do a fabulous job organizing uniforms, travel, as we've talked about, guys being sent down, their stuff packed away, guys being called up, new uniforms organized. Gracie, you know what it's like. I mean, for all the time you spent in the major leagues and having great men behind the men, if you will, how important it is. They make it so that you guys really just focus on baseball.
Well, you make sure that you thank those guys every day. Without them, you couldn't do the job at the level that you're expected to do it. And you know, it can be thankless, Daron. You're right for those guys, but you just couldn't survive without them. I have trouble making my own flights.
Really?
Yeah, booking my own flights. I know you do too.
What's a flight?
I'll ask Kristen.
I just show up, you know?
Yeah, and you know, these guys just do such a great job. And the good players thank them every day.
Derek Barton with a fly ball, center field. Chris Young puts it away. Edgar Gonzalez, we thank you tonight. And you know what? Your bullpen should too. Our Coors Light Freeze Cam, this is a beautiful piece of hitting. Freeze that. Folks, that's about to be hit out. Picture that. Very unique night tonight, obviously. A lot of organizing. Mike McNally and his entire staff helping to organize that for us. Thank you, Mr. McNally, as always, for the great job that you do. Putting up with the ball players and, of course, putting up with us. Leaning on you for interview requests and locker room access. Doing a great job. Want to know the count to Chad Tracy. You know who else is doing a great job?
Who?
Justin Duxer.
Huh.
There's that cut fastball over the outside corner. Chad has struck out. He's flied to center field. For Justin Duxer, he is doing this work in his 16th Major League start. Now, what kind of work has he done all year, you might ask? I know we talked about a little bit earlier. This is now start number 11 on the season, including tonight. In all 11 starts, he has allowed 3 earned runs or less. In all 11 starts. Never been a full-time starter before this year.
Quality starts. Every one of them.
Now that's quality.
And then some.
Look at that pitch count. Doesn't have a Major League complete game, but with that pitch count, he is well on his way. Want to remind everyone, for every home run that D-backs hit this season, Fulton Homes will donate $150 to the Central Arizona Search and Rescue Fund. Good to have Mark Grace back with us tonight.
Oh, it's such a pleasure to be here, Daron.
Rajay Davis, by the way, is in center field. I'll share that with you.
Thank you. What'd you do for your off day yesterday, Daron?
A little bit of honey-do list stuff. Drugstores and banking and dry cleaners and what else? Swimming with the girls.
Oh, did you swim yesterday?
A little swimming.
Home pool or public pool?
Home pool.
Nice. You know what's funny is you talked about Jeff Salazar helped you out. You had a blowout.
I did.
On the highway the other day.
I did.
Guess what happened to me yesterday?
No, it didn't.
Honest to Pete. I had a blowout on the 101. Honest to Pete. Yeah. My tire, it exploded.
That's unbelievable.
Honest.
You're here. Is your car okay?
Car is fine. And the other thing I realized, tires are expensive.
Oh, really?
I mean expensive.
$75? Bouncing ball. I can't believe that happened.
Once they quoted me that price, I said, I'm not asking for a tractor tire. Just a car tire. That's a lot of money. Hundreds of dollars for a tire.
Makes your old saying car not so much fun anymore, doesn't it?
But honest to goodness, Daron, it happened to me yesterday.
Pues aquí los veteranos tomando sus turnos en serio.
Hey, there's Richard Saenz.
Tracy, Orlando Hudson.
Now, does your new tire cost as much as a good night, Gracie? Say good night, Gracie.
Oh, good night.
That was a good bit. 0-1 the count. Mark Reynolds.
Arturo Cho is over there in the Spanish booth along with Richard Saenz. There they are.
En la última hora se arrepintió y pidió tiempo. Mark Reynolds, viene el lanzamiento pegado. Una bola, 2 strikes.
Arturo's big league.
Want to listen in?
Yeah, let's listen to some Espanol.
Sacó una recta de 90 cuando te lanza una curva de que le quita unos 12 millas por hora y luego te lanza una recta pegada, pues es difícil.
De frente, lanzamiento pegado, lo dejan con la carabina al hombro, ponche para Mark Reynolds. El primero de Mark Reynolds esta noche, sin tirarle, se ponchó.
Es lo que pasa, le curva y luego las rectas pegadas, pues.
Y bye bye. Bye bye. Señoras y señores, cada noche de viernes esta temporada es viernes familiar en el Chase Field. Nuestro paquete de boletos en viernes familiares de solo $15. Te llevas un boleto del juego, una Pepsi mediana, un Diamondback Dog, además un pase gratis para el segundo.
On another slow breaking ball, Justin Upton rolls it out to short. 1, 2, 3. Go the Diamondbacks. Top of the 8th inning, Oakland on top of Arizona. Glad to have you with us tonight. Hope your day has been a good one to this point. We take you to our Geico quote of the ball game, tying into our behind-the-scenes theme tonight. Come on, guys, it's not brain surgery, it's baseball. Legendary TV sports director Chet Forty, Monday Night Football director, and later in his life became quite a talk show host, but he summed it up perfectly, didn't he?
Chet Forty was a brilliant man, and a lot of people don't know about Chet Forty, Daron Sutton. At Columbia University, maybe the greatest basketball player to ever come out of Columbia University.
Really?
Chet Forty.
That's big league right there.
Google him, and you'll see.
I believe you. I don't have to do that.
One of the greatest of all time. I don't know if there's ever been a better basketball player at Columbia University than Mr. Chet Forty. The late, great Chet Forty.
This club is now 9-1, 8-1, I should say. You're not phoning it in. You're bringing it.
This is not guesswork. Wait, the statue's up. That's big league.
Do you blame him?
No, he's a heck of a pitcher. He doesn't need to hit tonight. I love that.
Second baseman Mark Ellis.
More behind-the-scenes video. This is right behind the Diamondbacks dugout, down a flight of stairs and maybe 20 yards back, and this is where guys can go in right there during the ball game. The game is on television in there, and you can watch the game and get your swings in, get ready to pinch hit.
There's nobody in there.
Well, I think that's footage from earlier.
Oh, okay.
They can't be poking our nose in there now.
No. Wouldn't be right.
My goodness.
Haven't seen Mark Ellis take a swing like that this evening. He's been terrific. Walked twice, doubled and homered. And then he takes, well, that swing. I haven't seen Baxter tonight, Daron. Have
really?
You? I haven't seen him. Did he take the night off along with the governor?
I'm not sure if he did or not. I know he's somewhere behind the scenes. He's been spending time with Ralphie a lot. The 1-2. Bouncing ball out to third. Though I said I believed Mark Grace, I just want to back up what he said when he said Google him. The very first selection when I Googled just the words Columbia University greatest basketball player, Chet Forty.
Really?
Arguably the best player in Columbia history. 12 school records, season and career scoring.
And what years was that, Daron? It's been a long time he's held those records.
56 and 57. He averaged 29 points per game in 56-57.
And that was before a three-point line.
Yes.
My bad.
One of the most influential figures in modern sports media. Second to only Mark Grace.
Well,
no, I'm kidding.
that.
Eric Burns.
Tell you what, Burns has got a lot going on.
2-0. Thanks for hanging in there with us tonight, by the way. I know you've stuck it out. Ryan Sweeney taking a ride. That one off the wall. Sweeney with the double. Boy, have a night, Ryan Sweeney. I'll tell you what, a single, couple of doubles, a walk, a stolen base. Doing a great job.
Well, that ball made a sound too, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
I mean, he just clobbers this fastball from Tony Pena. Bang! Just short, quick, beautiful swing.
The pride of Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Boy, you hate to see what's been going on back there in Cedar Rapids and all through Iowa. You hope he, his family, and everybody back there in Cedar Rapids are just okay. It's been an awful mess back there with the flooding. Just wish everybody back there good fortune and hang in there.
We know Midwest folks, you do too.
I know a lot of them.
They'll work together.
Absolutely. Kurt Zacher, our fine statistician, he's a Midwesterner. Minnesota. Up north there, eh?
Ajay Davis, big swing down off the end of the bat. He'll earn himself an RBI. It's 9-1 Oakland. Picked on a breaking ball here.
Yeah, it just stays out. And yeah, he didn't hit it hard, but when you leave it up, they tend to flare right out there in the middle of nowhere. So Tony Pena comes on, gets 2 quick outs, and then gives up a run. 9-1. Athletics.
Arizona over their last 3 games, 2 against Kansas City, 1 against Oakland, outscored 29-7.
At home. Can't happen, can it?
Wait and then explode. That was back in the 4th inning. Since May 16th at home, the Diamondbacks, if they come up short tonight, are just 3-8 in their last 11 home games. Prior to that, they were 18-7 their first 25 home games. I'll hang in there, though, kids. We'll have ice cream later. 1-2 the count. Sugar cookies.
Oh.
Mike and Ike's.
I love Mike and Ike's.
Pop Rocks. With soda.
Those hurt my mouth. Pop Rocks.
With soda mixed with them.
Oh, yeah. Just stay up till 2 in the morning. Come on, kids. We haven't talked about Scott Snyder behind the scenes tonight, Daron. Probably should get a shot of him up here in the booth. Our stage manager and babysitter.
Popped up a mile high, Chris Snyder. He runs out of room. Glenn Kuiper and Ray Fosse next door, visiting TV booth. They are sending the good news back to the Bay Area. They know tonight that the Angels are winning. They're trying to keep pace. The Angels beating the New York Mets 4-1. The AL West looks like that. Don't count Oakland out. Don't count them out really any year. Last year they were 76 and 86, and that was an odd year for the Oakland A's. I mean, a real odd year. If payroll is to be considered in the equation, the amount of money spent on players, and you go back to the year 2000, and you have 3 division, make it 4 division titles, a wild card berth, I've got to say this is one of baseball's most successful franchises.
I don't think there's any question.
I want to talk about using your money wisely.
Scouting. I mean, doing it.
And whether it's just to freshen things up, there has been, you know, maybe surprising turnover. You have Art Howe, the early part of that. Ken Maka, then Maka was replaced by Bob Guerin. One thing does stay standard, though. That's general manager Billy Beane. 3-2.
And look at Chavez still hanging around. It's 9-1, Daron. He's not phoning it in. What we got there?
El título de la división. Aquí está la Liga Oeste, ¿no?
Oh, Jerry Romo, Miguel Quintana.
Está muy bien para nuestros amigos de la televisión, la cuenta de 3 bolas con 2 strikes. Saludos, amigos, para toda la gente que nos está sintonizando a través de Canal 44. El guapo Gerardo Romo.
FSN Arizona presents D-backs baseball. It's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With Southwest Airlines, you're now free to be more productive. And by Arizona Ford. Go to drivefordnow.com. I'm Oscar.com. 1-0 the count, Chris Snyder. Line into left center field. And the play is made for the out. Our APS in-game box score. Oakland A's having a good night tonight. Looks like just about everyone has come to the party, including Cargo. Carlos Gonzalez, former Diamondback, had an RBI in this game.
And Justin Duxer has struck out 4 times, but, well, he's certainly joined the party with his work on the mound.
Judd, nice job up there, my friend.
Everybody an outstanding job tonight. Behind the scenes, it's big league.
We went behind the scenes a lot. A lot going on down there. Breaking ball, Augie Ojeda. 2 outs, Augie is erased. The Diamondbacks scuffling to get things going since May 20th if they come up short tonight in a 27-game span, sporting a 9-18 record.
Yeesh. We didn't see that last year, did we?
Well, there certainly were struggles, and there certainly were times when you look back that you couldn't see the forest for the trees. I can remember at the end of the first half, heading into the All-Star break, it was a really tough road trip overall, and you couldn't see the fact that this club was going to head on to win 90 games.
Nice job tonight, Karina.
Excellent job all over the place. That one is popped foul. On June 23rd of last season, the Diamondbacks were tied for first place. On July 21st, they were in 3rd place, 4.5 games back. And in between, some struggling, no doubt about that. Young, base hit, left field.
Well, he needed that.
Yes, he did. Want to remind everyone, by the way, that this season Quest is donating $100 to Friendly House each time the D-backs win. So far, that's $3,700. Just one way Quest builds a stronger community.
As long as you're in the green, everything is fine. Otherwise,
Gracie, I tell you, you go back, that's a 25-game stretch last year in which they dropped out of first and into third, in which they went 9-16. Not all that different from what we've seen over these 27 games.
You're about right.
9-18. Now, if we are to follow the same script, it's time to start winning.
Well, you hate to see the one homestand that you have during the month of June. You're just gone the entire month of June. The one homestand that you struck.
Stephen Drew, fly ball, deep right field. What a play! Unbelievable play by Carlos Gonzalez. They moved him across the outfield, and he got comfortable right away. You will see this one again and again and again. Taking extra bases away. Unbelievable play by Gonzalez. What else can you say about this play? I mean, this is a fearless play because he's going up against that almost chain link style fence out there.
Remember, this is a 9-1 blowout. And you're doing that. That's impressive. Man, that fence didn't give at all. What a great play. Yeah, I don't blame you, Justin.
An all-around special night for the Oakland A's. This is one to file away for the memories for a lot of reasons.
A little battle wound there. He'll be just fine. And how many times when you make a great play, Daron Sutton, do you bat second the next inning?
Almost every time.
Every time.
It's like clockwork. It is like clockwork. Speaking of clockwork, as we wake up every morning, it's like clockwork in our lives. It's also Brandon Lyon getting the job done. Curve ball and a good one. Augie Ojeda's at second base, by the way. Lyon has not allowed a run since April the 6th. That's 24 games, 25 innings pitched. It's the longest of any major league reliever this season. 25 innings scoreless streak. Cliff Lee's 28 innings, the only longer of any pitcher, and he's a starter.
I think you might have to save a spot for this guy in Yankee Stadium for the Midsummer Classic, wouldn't you think?
Yes.
He's just not getting any save opportunities. A lot of these innings, these scoreless innings, are either they're blowouts for either side.
Fastball, curveball.
Did I ever jinx that one?
Deep left field, and it's gone.
Did I ever jinx that one?
Well, that streak is over. At 25 innings. You know what, Gracie?
Sorry, Brandon Lyon.
You can beat yourself up all you want. I'll take responsibility and share it with you. But
sorry, Daron.
It didn't happen in a 1-0 game. It happened in a 9-1 game. He hit a curveball out.
Yeah, hanging breaking ball. Boom. You said these guys didn't hit home runs, Daron.
Yeah, that's what the statisticians told me prior to the game. Second lowest total in the American League. Three home runs in the game. That ties their season high. Sorry, young A's fan. We're really sorry. Sorry about that. Ball went right to him, by the way.
Sorry, Bomo.
I'll say sorry to the Lyon family that we mentioned the scoreless inning streak.
Crosby's not sorry.
Oh, no. 10-1 the score. I certainly apologize to all those folks at Jack in the Box that I'll see on my drive home.
Really?
Driving through.
Gonna stop through, huh?
Oh, absolutely. I want to say I'm sorry in advance to them.
Ultimate cheeseburger?
Well, and then some. Swing and a miss. That's strike three. I want to say sorry to all the Laker fans as well.
Oh, they had a rough night, didn't they?
Oh, did they play tonight? I'm just talking about the homer.
Oh.
Oh, did they lose?
I think they got boat raced.
Well, I'm sorry for you then. I know you grew up out there in California. I want to say sorry to Rocco Medier about mentioning that scoreless inning streak.
Our bad, Rocco. Great effort yesterday.
Sorry, Shoe Wizard.
Oh, the Shoe Wizard. He was really excited about that scoreless streak. Had every pitch during the streak.
Pitches outside, 2-0 the count.
Fired up about the short shutout.
I want to say sorry to all those folks that run amusement parks around the world.
Really? I guess we should include all the zookeepers in as well. Sorry, folks.
Dan Herron on the mound against his old team tomorrow.
We won't be sorry about that.
Oh, no, we won't. As a matter of fact, we'll hear a lot from Dan Herron before the game, during the game, and we had a chance to talk with Joe Blanton as well. Those two were former teammates, and promises to be quite a matchup. Diamondbacks, they are desperately needing a solid start. And he will look forward to taking the baseball against the Oakland A's, a team that, as he will tell you in part of our conversation tomorrow, really believed in him and gave him a chance. Moved out from St. Louis.
I'd like to say sorry to Willie Randolph. Let go by the New York Mets. Well, really early this morning at about 3 a.m., wasn't it, Daron?
Eastern, yes.
Eastern. Sorry to Rick Peterson.
Former A's pitching coach. It's a shame that all these people are tied in with that scoreless inning streak coming to an end. Fouled back to the screen. The 2-2. My goodness,
How
look
did he
out
hit
over
that ball like that? That ball would have hit him in the chest, I think, had he not hit it. Oh, he hit it hard. No. It's all right. I'm sorry to you two.
We're sorry.
Sorry, guys. Blame the broadcasters.
We'll take responsibility. We will tonight.
Sorry, Baxter.
Certainly sorry to Mr. Met as well.
And Mr. Red. Your favorites. Youpie.
Sorry to all those Expos fans from around the world.
No longer have a club. Go Argos. Oh, that's Toronto. Go Alouettes.
Barton draws the walk. Couple of walks in this inning for Lyon.
Number 8, Emo Brown.
Emo Brown takes the assignment. Getting a chance to hit against a right-handed pitcher early in his career. That was his specialty. 270 was his batting average. But over the last couple of years, the righties have really locked him down. Last year, only Richie Sexton and Brandon Inge struggled more against right-handed pitching. He had just 218 against righties. One and 0 the count. Fouled back. You know who's going to help tomorrow? Crank it up in this yard, get something going, get the team back on track.
Who?
The Redheads. Oh yeah.
Boy, you know, you always know how to brighten my day, dude.
See? Give me a little call out for him.
Yeah. The Redheads.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, it's going to be big league. Hey, look. Hey. What's going on there?
Curveball misses in. This was last time. Those shirts tomorrow will be Gracie's favorite color.
Sonoran sand.
Car on the front, game on the back. Going to be a big party. We'll come see you. You will be on television a lot. You will light this ballpark up.
Oh, I love it. Redheads.
That's what I'm talking about. By the way, some folks have headed home here in the 9th inning. 28,710 on hand tonight. You can still walk up, by the way. Tickets are still available to the Redhead section. So if you want to walk it up, just tell them that's where you want to sit. 3-2 the count. What's going on here?
They were eating the beads, and now they're just playing with them. No, don't. It's not food, girls. It's like when Kotam brought me dog food.
Oh, it was so good. It's puppy chow, by the way. It's not real dog food. It's just called puppy chow. It's a nice sugary creation.
Does it
chocolate,
can
peanut
you buy
butter?
it in the store under puppy chow?
No, you have to make it at home. Take some Czech cereal, some peanut butter, some chocolate, and then powdered sugar on top.
It's
Not that I've ever
huh?
made any before.
It's good stuff. Now dig in, girls. Boy.
3-2 the count. Plastic.
Delicious.
Emil Brown not about to be statuesque like the man he replaced. Now Mark Ellis.
Justin Duxer was awfully impressive this evening. So is this young man, Mark Ellis.
Congratulations to Justin for another fabulous outing for Duxer this year. That is every single start he has made in which he has allowed 3 runs or less. Curveball and strike 1. I'd say the Oakland A's had their head on straight when they opted to move Duxer into the bullpen or into the rotation from the bullpen.
Smart move.
It has turned out to be as such. High fly ball, deep left field. Ellis looks up. It's a 3-run home run. The A's are really pouring it on now.
4 runs here in the top of the 9th inning. 5 home runs for the Oakland A's tonight. Bob Melvin's going to come make a pitching change. He's going to get his closer out of the game. Maybe it wasn't that great to get an inning of work in tonight for Brandon Lyon. Man.
So the score is 13-1. Visiting teams continue to enjoy their time here at Chase Field. Royals and now the A's.
Sorry, Daron.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of AZPB Limited Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of AZPB Limited Partnership.
Ryan Sweeney fouls a pitch off. 0-1 the count. Mark Grace, I know you've been a little bit down about tonight's game. I want to take you to the world where the glass is always half full. As a matter of fact, the thirst buster is always full. 12 strikeouts for Diamondbacks pitchers tonight. 12 strikeouts.
So it's thirst buster time.
Head to Circle K if you are already home from the game. You can take your ticket. Go get a large thirst buster fountain drink of your choice.
We love Mark McClune. Oh, don't we all?
So please, I want you folks to think positive with me.
Glass half full.
Oh, you bet. What's the magic number on chalupas? 8 runs. If the Diamondbacks can score 7 runs in the bottom of the ninth, you have to win to get a chalupa. So if they can score 7 runs in the bottom of the ninth, you can get your chalupa and then your thirst buster.
I love it.
By the way, I just want to let you folks know that this glass right here, it's not half empty.
That's not half empty, is it?
Oh, no. That glass is half full. I'm telling you. It's the kind of, you got to just play along. And there's a walk.
Yeah, this game is officially put on the brakes.
I used to love the plastic helmets. Is there anything better than a good plastic helmet?
If you knocked it right on top of your head, it hurt.
Oh, yeah. And
button right on the top.
It made it clear this is not a protective safety helmet. This is not it. This is for fun. It's not like what our fine base coaches are wearing, what our fine batters are wearing. It's just for fun. But I tell you that, you used to get out in the front yard, get the tennis ball going, tape up the strike zone, and put on that plastic helmet. He did it when he was young, I guarantee. Gentleman just stops to climb on the field. That's probably not a good idea.
And with one shoe.
Yeah, he'll be
escorted. There's a plastic helmet.
The 0-2. Davis sprays one. And so we'll do it again. No balls and 2 strikes to count. The A's leading the Diamondbacks 13-1. Slayton on 0-2. Missed in 1-2 the count. Joe Blanton against Dan Herron tomorrow. Former Diamondback Greg Smith against Doug Davis on Thursday. And again, that game on Thursday is at 12:40. And it's a long and very challenging road trip for the Diamondbacks. Inside.
Just missed.
It is 3 in Minnesota, 3 at Fenway Park against the Red Sox, and then 3 in Miami. For the second time this year, the Diamondbacks were swept in Florida the last time they played there. Had a really tough go of it.
So it's not getting any easier.
Deep left field. Gone. Home runs this inning. $15-1.
Well, Daron, the game's a little bit different now than it was when, well, I played or even when you played. But if I was hitting right now, I'd probably get one in the ribs.
Yeah, it's changed certainly in that sense. 2-0 the count. 6 home runs in this game. Last year, May 10th against Kansas City. 6 home runs in a road game. That is a strike. But I mean, you talk about the total of 6 home runs. We're talking about in the history of the franchise. Only the 12th time in the history of the franchise have they reached that total. Hanahan goes down on strikes.
Struck out the side.
The Oakland A's, despite that, lead it 15-1. This gorgeous yard, and challenging certainly with the heat of the summertime, with the roof that opens and closes. I'll tell you what, Grant Trenbeth does an outstanding job. It is his 11th season as the only head groundskeeper at Chase Field, and does a fabulous job. And Grant, of course, guides us how he gets this beautiful yard to look sharp every day.
I've got 5 full-time guys. That includes myself, and I've got a part-time staff of about 10 guys that rotate in per game. I try to have a minimum of 9 people per each game, but if I've got a couple more, that just makes things go a little bit easier.
And it is a challenge, no doubt about it. Miguel Montero to pinch hit, and it is a beautiful yard here. What a great facility. You folks at home know what it's like to keep your yard maintained throughout the heat of the summertime. Imagine, well, just putting it indoors occasionally. How many times, Mark Grace, can you say, well, you flush it and move on to tomorrow?
Well, you hate to keep saying it. This is the 3rd straight game you're going to have to say, well, you have to put this one in the rearview mirror. Well, unfortunately for the Diamondbacks, this is 3 straight throttlings at home.
35-7, they have been outscored in their last 3 games at home. Pitch is high, 3-1 the count. Andrew Brown is working. And the beads, well, as that one is swung right through, 3-2 the count. Well, that is a picture, by the way, and that was a very good picture. Those young ladies with their beads just behind the dugout. As he goes down on strikes, Montero does a stone's throw away from the manager. Not a care in the world in that shot. When you pan down, a lot going on inside of that man's mind. A lot.
Well, none too thrilled, I'm sure, at what he's seen the last 3 days here at home.
Chris Burke. 0-1 the count. Dan Herron against his good buddy Joe Blanton in tomorrow's game. Greg Smith against Doug Davis. We look forward to hearing some of the conversations with Herron and Blanton. In tomorrow's game. Joe Blanton, by the way, not only was a former teammate of Dan Herron's, he was a former teammate of Brandon Webb's at the University of Kentucky. Two and two the count. There he is. It's funny because talking to Joe before the game, he said, all I can remember about Brandon Webb when he was my teammate was he had a great curveball. That puts Chris Burke away. 1 chance left for the Diamondbacks. Well, we saw a lot of curveballs. You know, it's funny, you have an old teammate talking about his curveball, and I said, well, he doesn't throw it a ton anymore. He still has a great curveball. Seemed to throw a lot of them early tonight, Brandon Webb.
Threw a bunch of curveballs tonight. It just really didn't matter a whole lot what Brandon or really the rest of the guys threw tonight. The Oakland A's, they were just swinging the bats. I mean, big time.
Ground ball out to second base. This ball game is over. A 15-1 final as the A's come to town and begin this series with a rout of the home team, the Arizona Diamondbacks. Over their last 3 games, 2 of them against Kansas City and 1 against Oakland. All the smiles are in the first base dugout. 35-7 is the combined score, and I guess, Gracie, you search hard to find reasons why now.
Well, yeah, there's hopefully a big old drawing board that the boys in red are going to have to go try and figure out. Right now, everything they're doing is coming up ugly.
15-1 the final score. Webb, the loser, he's 11-3. Still the biggest winner in Major League Baseball. Boy, he had a tough one tonight. Duchscher continues what has been an all-star caliber season. Quest D-Backs Live, the post-game show is right now.
The start of a 3-game series tonight against the swinging A's. Who better to have on the hill than your ace, Brandon Webb? But it was not B. Webb's night. It wasn't the D-Backs night for that matter. 15-1 is the final. This is Quest D-Backs Live. Brad Steinke, Ken Phelps hanging out here in the Diamond Club. It was behind the scenes night. You met some of our FSN family. And I'll tell you what, not a lot happened on the scene, Ken, for the D-Backs.
Not a good night tonight. The Diamondbacks have had a tough time this homestand scoring runs, and of course tonight the things didn't get better, and Brandon Webb, shortest outing of the year, so there's got to be some concern in that clubhouse right now for the D-Backs. 6 home runs for the Oakland Athletics as they get it done by the score of 15-1. We'll send it down to Mark McClune standing by with Bobby Crosby. Mark?
Yeah, that's right. 3 for 5 tonight, 2 RBIs. You guys were on Brandon Webb early. What was the approach facing the guy with the most wins in the league?
You just got to make him throw strikes. We knew he had good stuff, and you know, me personally just try to stay inside him and go the opposite way.
This team appears, you guys appear to be really locked in right now. What's the secret? What's going on in the clubhouse?
We're hitting. You know, I mean, we knew we could pitch and play defense, but the main thing for us, we're hitting. We're winning games. So the bats are starting to come around, and guys are hitting.
And you have spring training here. A lot of guys live here. You're not one of them, but I mean, how comfortable is Phoenix as a place to play for the Oakland A's?
We love it. I mean, I love it here. You know, so coming here on the road, it's great. And you know, Ellis and Chavez and some of those guys are home, so it's nice for everybody.
Good deal. We appreciate. Very nice of you stopping. That's Bobby Crosby, 3 for 5 tonight. We kick things back outside of the Diamond Club. We're going inside the Diamondbacks locker room and going to get reaction to tonight's big loss, guys.
All right, thanks, Mark. Not going to be a very happy Diamondbacks locker room tonight. It was interesting. The Oakland A's, a team that now is 39-31, had gone 6 straight games without a home run. They made up for it tonight, and then some. 6 home runs. Ellis with 2, Chavez, Suzuki, Crosby, and Davis. They got on the D-back pitching staff pretty quickly.
Well, they did. Everybody was swinging the bats well for the A's tonight. The Diamondbacks got to find a way to get it figured out tomorrow and try to salvage the rest of this homestand as they get ready to travel, and 9 big games on the road coming up very soon.
It is imperative. Not a lot of home games this month, and they've got to take care of business. No doubt about our turning point. This one took place rather early, top of the first, and Brandon Webb, who has been such a stellar pitcher for the D-backs, and he struggled early on. Had to throw a lot of breaking balls, Ken, and they touched him up.
He was having difficulty with his location. He was getting the ball up early in the ball game. Of course, there's that guy Ellis right there who's been on fire, and it just didn't stop with Ellis. Every ball that you see hit here pretty hard is up a little bit, out over the plate. A couple of real nice pitches you thought were made, and the A's just had it working tonight. They find a hole right there. That ball there would have been into right field, I should say. Give the hitter a base hit, but nonetheless hits a runner for the 3rd out in the 1st inning, and Webby just didn't have it from the 1st inning on.
Yeah, and Brandon Webb, who left his last start after 58 pitches, had 26 pitches in that 1st inning. The A's scored in every inning tonight except for the 6th and the 7th. They tacked on 6 runs in the 9th. So the swinging Athletics, as they are known, getting the job done tonight. So when we come back, we'll head back up to the booth. The guys who called our game, Daron, Sutton, Mark Grace. It was behind the scenes night. Take it back to the booth in just a bit. Stay with us.